Marc Davenport, the wealth strategist, and welcome to Straight to the Top. We've got another great show for you tonight. We've got an amazing guest, and our guest is actually the first one to come on the show twice. I'd like to introduce Mr. Gabriel Norman. Gabriel Norman, welcome to Straight to the Top.
Well, hello everyone. Pleasure to be back once again. As Mark said, my name is Gabriel Norman. The name of the companies that I represent and own are RMI Management and RMI Financial Advisory Services. Quick 20-second elevator speech of what we do. We help money make money, and we do this in a variety of ways through investment advisory services, insurance services, business consulting, as well as funding and lending.
So the name of your company is not a very common name. For the benefit of the audience, would you mind spelling it out for us?
Yes. So it is O as in Oscar, T as in Tango, H as in Hotel, N as in November, I as in Ice, E as in Echo, L as in Love, Management, and of course, once again, Oscar, Tango, Hotel, November, Ice, Echo, Love, Financial Advisory Services.
So how long have you been around?
So, been around since 2014 as established as a formal entity. Been in the industry about 2001.
Okay, and I understand you've got some major projects in the works. Care to share anything with the audience before we get into the heart of the matter?
Okay. So we are transitioning from an investment advisory firm to a broker-dealer investment advisory firm. That translates the difference between millions of dollars to billions of dollars, to keep it plain and happy.
So what's the difference between company A versus company B?
So when we look at an investment advisory firm, we're here to educate, acclimate, to manage and build wealth, assets, portfolios. Now, with a broker-dealer, we have the ability to do that, but we also have the ability to work with the fund families and resources directly.
So when you say fund family, are you referring to mutual fund families?
So mutual fund families is one, or exchange traded funds, hedge funds, various alternative investment strategies and funding as well.
So it sounds like the new registration just will give you a lot more flexibility in terms of how you can make money for your own account and make money for the account of others. Is that a fair statement?
I would say that's a fair statement.
So let's jump into the heart of the matter. We've got a lot to talk about tonight. What would you like to talk about first?
The same thing we talk about every night, Pinky. For all of you Pinky and the brain heads out there, you gotta love it, right? But with that being said, I want to talk about mindset, resources, and application. These are strong gambits and strong spirits that I am a strong proponent of.
Okay, so mindset. What does mindset mean to you, and what does mindset mean for the in this context? And I ask you that because what our goal is here at Straight to the Top, we want to give you value, and value is a word you hear talked about all the time. Let me tell you what value means to us. To us, value means that we are delivering some information to you that's relative to your world. We want you to be able to go into the office tomorrow morning, turn on the lights, sit at your desk and boot up your machine and say, today I'm going to incorporate this best practice that we learned last night on Straight to the Top. So when you say mindset, share with the audience what that means to you.
Okay. So what that means to me, I approach it, from two different ways. As the man thinketh, so is he. Or as a person thinketh, so are they. So what we perceive in perception, perspective, process, and position, that is the foundation for our mindset. And what we do, with those attributes determines the reality that we choose to operate in.
So one of the things, there's a quote that I love, and I'm sure you all are familiar with it. It's the quote attributed to Albert Einstein. And it goes something like this. The definition of insanity is to continually to do something the same way consistently, but yet expecting a different result. And in the type of business that Gabriel and I are in, we talk to people all day long. Everyone wants to be wealthy. Everyone wants to be a coach. Everyone wants to be a speaker. Everyone wants to have a great business. Everyone wants to live the American dream. But in order to do that, you really have to recalibrate your thinking, because your mentality, your mindset, etc., has taken you to a place. And if it's not the place you want to be, then you have to condition your mind to pivot on the dime and then recalibrate and go into a different direction. So that's how I would describe mindset. In other words, if you don't like to read, you have to condition yourself to love to read. If you don't like to work out and exercise, you've got to recondition your mind to embrace exercise. So that's what that means to me. What does mindset mean to you?
I love the fact, I'm at the bar. He said, your mind, pivot on the dime. I love that. Give it up for MC Mark right here. Gotta give it up for him. Gotta love that. With that being said, mindset, simply put, is any way of thinking that adds value to your overall goal, objectives, and vision. For me. So where there's vision, there's victory. Where there's victory, there's vision. That's a way of thinking that adds value to my goals, my objectives, and the different projects that I have in place. So anything that adds value, that you can appreciate, that you can love, that you can understand, and that you can use to empower. That's a mindset for me.
So oftentimes I talk to people and I ask them what their revenue or income goals are. If you are an employee, then we're going to talk about what your income goal is. If you're a business owner, then we're going to talk about what your revenue goal is. There's a very distinct difference. And oftentimes a business owner will say, Mark, I'd like to make $100,000 in a year. So making or taking out $100,000 isn't the same as doing $100,000 in revenue. We agree on that, right?
Fully.
Okay. So the question is, if you've never had a year where you've grossed $100,000 before, how do you do that? Does it happen overnight? So I'm a big fan of Dr. Stephen Covey, and he wrote a book. It's a classic called The 7 Habits of Successful People. And what Dr. Covey has proven is, in order to develop one great habit, you have to do a task continually and consistently for 30 days. So let me give you an example. If you want to get up early in the morning, start your day off so that you have more hours in the day to do more. If you condition yourself, your mind and your body, to wake up at 5 o'clock every day for 30 days, day 31, your body has made the adjustment and has now set its own natural alarm clock. That's why some people can wake up early without having to set an alarm. So let's talk about mindset and what are some of the ways that people who really want to change their station in life, are there some exercises, or there's some drills, or there's some best practices? What can you share with the audience tonight that will help people pivot and just start getting into the habit of doing things differently so they can achieve different results? Is that a fair question?
That's a great question.
Okay.
So, what I would say is, just like going to the gym, you know, you've been pumping up, pumping out, working out, you develop muscle memory. But you also have to develop mental muscle memory. So say, for example, you want to be a retailer. Well, that means that you got to start inundating your mind with information that allows you to understand the 4 P's of marketing. And you say the 4 P's of marketing, what's that? Well, see, right now I'm helping you exercise your mental memory, because tomorrow you're going to go and you're going to talk about the 4 P's of marketing, which is price, product, promotion, and placement. Now, what I want you to do as a homework assignment, I want you to repeat that 10 different times. Have fun with it. You can switch it up. You can say product, price, placement, and promotion, but just repeat it. Get it in your mind. Understand what your product is, what your price is, how you want to position it, and where you want to position it to, and have fun with it. Meditate on it. Chew on it. Doing things like that help to inundate your mind and create new pathways of learning and getting from one point to another point. Great author, Brian Tracy, he had a book called Eat That Frog. I recommend read that book. Basically, it's taking the time to do the things you really don't want to do, that you actually hate doing, but need to be done so that you can be great. So we're going to have a little fun with a little bit of wordplay. So what I want you to remember is you got to BS for greater success. And you're like, did I just hear that right? Did you say BS for greater success? Yes, but in this case, BS is better strategize. So you got to better strategize for greater success. And the way that you get that is exercising that mental memory and then going out and applying it, going out and doing it. That's how you reinforce what you learn. You take it from the page and you put it in reality, and you do it daily. Then take the time, even when you sleep, put on an audio book. For example,
Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich is a great opportunity to inundate your mind with better strategies. Or Dr. John C. Maxwell, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Yes. So, implement those things, get it in your way of thinking. What you put in will come out. Put in greater, you get out greater. Exercise greater every day. Don't stop at good. Press forward to great.
I love what you said, and I'll tell you, on Saturday, I spent time with 25 entrepreneurs, and I was asked to come in and talk about what is required to build something, to build a business, to build something scalable, and to build something profitable that will allow you to support yourself, your family, and the families of the people that you employ. And so we talked about that. And one of the things I want everyone to really, really, really lock in on, your mind, your brain is a muscle. And like every muscle in your body, it responds and grows and becomes more powerful, stronger, and more efficient when it's challenged. Most people use a very small percentage of their capacity. And the reason why they do that is because they develop ordinary habits of ordinary people. Go to work at 9, get off at 5, come home, grab a bite to eat, sit in front of the TV, and watch some television. If you really are ready to change your life, if you believe that prosperity is your birthright,
which it is,
if you believe, well, it is, but you have to believe it.
Yeah.
You have to believe, you have to talk to yourself. You have to embrace and also visualize where you want to go. So when Gabriel talked about the 4 P's, let me tell you, you own that. How do you own that? You write that down on an index card. You write that down on a sticky note. You put that someplace where you are reminded of it every single day. And if you do that, in 30 days, the 4 P's becomes a habit. You check that box, and then you move on to the 5 C's of credit. So what we're saying is ordinary effort equals ordinary results. When I spoke with this group of entrepreneurs on Saturday, I stressed one thing and one thing only. I believe that you have the capacity to be excellent. I believe you have the capacity to be extraordinary. I want everyone that's watching this video, I want everyone that has been following this show, I want people who have been paying attention to this message, because it's not for everyone. I want you to be exceptional. I want you to want your children to be exceptional. I want you to put expectations on you that are so high, you've got to stretch yourself. You've got to work on yourself. You've got to read, study, and practice some more until you've developed a foundation of success. And when you get there, ladies and gentlemen, your life will change. We talked about mindset. I think we've done a good job talking about mindset.
Yes, but I just want to leave them with 3 acronyms.
Please.
Okay, so tell you something. My son, I love him dearly. One particular time we were sitting on the couch. I was here, he was there. I looked at him, and all of a sudden he jumped across the couch to me. I say, "What's wrong, son?" He said, "Daddy, it's the gravitational pull of your head. It's so big." I'll be honest. My head is 24 inches around. That's 2 feet around. But the great thing about that is it's a lot of learning capacity there. And one of the ways that I exercise my mental muscle is through acronyms. So I'm going to give you 3. Value, VALUE, which is value, appreciate, love, understand, and empower.
Repeat that.
Value, VALUE, which is value, appreciate, love, understand, and empower. And that goes across the board, which is applicable to any relationship, whether it's business, whether it's parental, familial, whatever the case may be. Next one is mom. And everybody loves mom, right? Who does not love mom here? So in this case, mom is motivation, opportunity, and momentum. So in order to really progress in any business, you have to be motivated, whether you are a self-starter or whether you have a team which adds value to you. You have to be motivated. You have to have motivation, and you have to motivate others. In motivating others, it motivates yourself. And when you look at opportunities, you want to go into those opportunities with motivation and confidence. Why? Because that builds momentum, and momentum will help you break through those brick walls that you didn't think you could break through before. So M-O-M, mom. And then the last one, but never the least, no less important, is team. And it takes a team to build a dream. So T-E-A-M. In this case, it's triumphant, effective, applicative mindset.
Wow.
Triumphant,
wow.
Effective, applicable mindset. So take all of those, use them every day, exercise them every day, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. That's a quarter of a year.
So something about Gabriel. Gabriel is visually empowered. He doesn't see like you and I see. Okay? And he walks with a cane. And he is not handicapped. I don't view him that way, and he does not view himself that way. He never makes excuses. So I want you to think about the fact that I'm sitting here with a man who has figured out a way to rise to the pinnacle of success in the financial services field and not be able to pick up a book and read the book the same way you and I do. So I think we can check the box now with mindset.
Yeah.
What's next?
Oh, well, let me just say, and that cane is a staff. And that staff is for guidance, that staff is for wisdom, and that staff is for direction. So when he says that, that goes back to mindset. So, when I'm walking with wisdom, I'm walking with direction, and I'm walking with mindset.
Glass half full, glass half empty. Before we go on, I need to share a story with you. I'm talking to a client last week in Akron, Ohio, the home of LeBron James. He's a professional real estate investor, has a multi-million-dollar real estate portfolio. And I spoke to a second client who's not quite as successful. The second client, the smaller of the two, we were talking, and he was telling me how badly the market crash in 2008 hurt his family. He looked at the market, the real estate crash in 2008 as a very negative experience. Negative to the point where he lost his home and suffered. And it was a very painful experience, and it had an adverse effect on a number of people in his family. And we talked about that, and it was still very personal to him. But he's done okay. He's back on his feet, and financially, he's in a much better place than he's in prior to the market bailing out. Glass half full, glass half empty. I spoke to my client that same day in Akron, Ohio, and we were talking, and I was just asking him about some opportunities because I know some people that are professional investors that look for opportunities on a national scale. And so, when you go by the wealth strategist, what does that mean? It means that you create and identify opportunities for people to build wealth. So we're talking, and he said, you know what, Mark? I wish, and I know this might sound bad, but I wish and hope the market would go back to where it was in 2008 because I made a killing. I bought 28 multi-family homes. The prices were incredible. The opportunities were immense. I know people got hurt, but it was a great opportunity, and I made a heck of a lot of money. Glass half full, glass half empty. I called the tool, the instrument that Gabriel walks around with as a cane, and he called that a staff. The more you know, the more you realize you don't. What's next?
Okay, so we want to talk about resources. And for future entrepreneurs, present entrepreneurs, or for those who are just seeking information, we always want to inundate ourselves with resources. One of the most interactive resources out there is coupling yourself with a mentor. Mentors are powerful and effective. Why? Because you can learn from them, but they also can teach you certain principles that you may not necessarily see translated from the pages of a book into a realistic application. A mentor is great because they can also introduce you to key pivotal people that you may need to open doors. For example, Mr. Marc Davenport would be a great mentor, or Mr. Robert Hines with Chase Bank, or Mr. Troy Reed with Vara North, or a Lynn Swain with LS Paralegal, or Michelle Johnson with All About Business, or Tara Andrews with Wolverine Services. All of these are strong entrepreneurs in their field. You want to couple yourself with someone like that, or Whitney Moore with Moore Right Law, or Robert Moore with Keller Williams, or a Johnny Walker with North Star Investments. All of these are great individuals who have proven themselves in their industry, who have longevity in their industry, and who know how to help you. These are resources. Mentors are great resources. Would you agree?
Absolutely. And let me piggyback on that for a second. Okay. So I posted something today on social media. I overheard someone that I know, a young entrepreneur in Houston who I have great respect and admiration for. And she made a comment and she said, you know what? I'm ready to learn A, B, and C. But that's the part of the game that they don't teach you. So today what I wrote was, in your professional network, in your circle, if you're not being fulfilled, I have a test for you. Look in your circle. And if the people in your circle are not 10 years of age or more older than you, then what do they know that you don't know? You grew up listening to the same music. You grew up going to college at the same time. You took the same courses. If you're not associating with people who are much older than you, then the knowledge base that you have access to is smaller than it should be. So before we get back on this, I just want to share a quick thought with you. In my professional network in Houston, and I preface Houston only, you have the CEO of an investment company. I have the COO of a company that will be ringing the bell on Wall Street in 24 months. I have the CEO of the only company of its type in the city of Houston. And I have a commercial banker who is probably the most connected person in the city of Houston. And I have an attorney friend of mine who I consider the prince of the city. That's it. Those are the 5 people in my inner circle here in Houston. Now, my circle is much bigger than that. But in the city of Houston, when we get together for lunch, dinner, or whatever, and we talk and we share best practices, we are stretching each other. And I can tell you, the company that I keep and the people in my circle have made me better because collectively they know more than I do. And I've been around for 35 years with $400 million in private capital deal exposure. So when we talk about resources, I'm going to quote the great Leroy Bobbitt, the Dean of Black Entertainment Attorneys in Hollywood. Don't be a time waster. Don't walk up to people and say, give me, give me, give me, and offer nothing in return. Don't be a vampire. Offer something, a cup of coffee, a kind word, a book, an endorsement. I did something significant for someone 5 years ago. She gave me a book of Nikki Giovanni poetry. She understood that I'm a big fan of Nikki Giovanni. She gave me the book. She can get anything she wants from me anytime because you know what? She plays the long game. She gets it. She understands relationships. Too many young people feel, in my opinion, that they're entitled to things without having to build a relationship first. You build a relationship first. You have value in what you do, and the marketplace will embrace you and pour into you, and your life will change forever. Gabriel?
Okay. Thank you, Mark. Another resource is a website. I love this website, especially when you're building a team. It's called humanmetrics.com. And the reason why I love this website is because it has different personality topography assessments. So when you, as well as typography as well. Now, why is that important? It's because when you're building a team, you want to know the type of personalities that they have because it helps you to understand your strengths, your weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. It also helps you to understand their strengths, their weaknesses, their opportunities, and their strength, and any threats that they may have, so that you can put a team together that's geared for success, that can learn from one another, that can motivate one another, that can see the opportunities that you may not necessarily be able to see initially, and that can go forth in momentum. And putting this type of team together is a team for longevity, is a team for relationship, is a team for continuity, but it is also a foundational team which can also branch out and incorporate others so that greater works can be achieved. And that's humanmetrics.com.
I challenge everyone watching this show, if you own a business, identify the most prominent and successful person in your vertical. If you're in retail, look at someone like Mattress Mac. If there's somebody in your vertical that's significant and powerful, okay, set a goal to establish a relationship with that person. If you're in banking, if you have a trucking company, if you have an insurance agency, whatever your vertical is, identify a person you believe is the best of the best in that vertical. Write their name down, okay? And then set a goal to introduce yourself, have lunch or coffee with that person within 90 days. And if you've never done that before, if you don't know how to do that, there are two people talking to you tonight that might know a thing or two about that. Number 3 is what?
So let's look at number 3. Number 3 is understanding your net worth. Understanding your net worth. If you don't believe in you, who else will believe in you? How can you convince me to believe in you and to help fund your business and get it funded if you don't believe in yourself, what you're saying, or your product? So the greatest investment that you have is you. You are your greatest investment.
That's pretty heady stuff. Just going to share a few thoughts. The difference between winners and everyone else is that winners simply have the ability to put wins on the board. The more success you have, the more confidence you will develop. The more confidence you have, the more trust you will have in your ability to make things happen. The difference between people who are very successful and everyone else, the people who are very, very successful understand that fear is okay. Understand that adversity is your friend. You see, welcome adversity like an old friend, long lost colleague, because adversity, Mr. or Mrs. Adversity, is an opportunity, is your opportunity to show the marketplace how excellent you really are. You show me someone who is successful, and I'll show you someone that's very, very confident. You show me someone that's ordinary. You show me someone that's struggling. I will tell you that posture needs to be corrected. I will tell you they walk with their head down. And I can tell you they use words like I hope, I wish, maybe, etc. They use weak words. The marketplace is the ultimate efficient frontier. What does that mean? The marketplace punishes mediocrity. Not interested, call me back, no time, your price is too high, blah, blah, blah. The marketplace is the ultimate efficient frontier. It punishes mediocrity and it rewards excellence.
I would like to chime in on that. What I'd like to say is find someone who can sharpen you, someone that you can go over rejections with, rebuttals with. And there are really only 5 major objections. Take a pen, write it down, put it on your iPad, put it on your iPhone, your Android, what I'm about to tell you. Because what I'm about to tell you right now is going to translate into millions of dollars if you master it. So, 5 top objections. I'm not interested. That's 1. I'm already working with someone. That's 2. I don't have any money for you. That's 3. send me something in the mail.
Do they really still say that?
Yeah.
Do folks still say that?
Send me
something in the mail?
They
Wow.
will say that. Yes, they will.
Wow.
They'll say that. They'll say, send me something in the mail. And I believe I'm already working with someone.
Price.
Yeah.
Your price is too high. You're too expensive.
Right. And that goes back to no money. Now, everybody out there has money for what they want to do when they want to do it. They will find a way to be creative. So, once again, no time, no money, not interested. I'm already working with someone. Send me something in the mail. Now watch this. Are you really going to send them something in the mail? And then you may even, you say, well, can I email you? But see, then they're going to be like, wait, hold on. If they email me, that means they can contact me. So it's important to understand how to get past those objections. So, all right, me and Mark, we're going to run through a real quick skit because I know our time is, winding down. But, just as a quick demonstration. Ring.
May I speak to Gabriel?
This is he.
Gabriel, my name is Marc Davenport with RMI Capital. Did I catch you at a good time?
Who is this again?
Listen, not a problem. I'm going to be brief. I had a conversation with Tom last week, and Tom told me that you were looking to bring someone in-house to do some CSR training. Is that correct?
Tom? Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. You do know Tom, right?
Absolutely.
And you are doing some CSR training, right?
Right.
Okay. How soon are you looking to get started?
Within the next week and a half.
And what's your budget?
For CSR training, we're going to probably allocate about $25,000 just with respect to the number of customer service reps that we have.
You said 25,000?
25,000. Well, we're a large company, so we want to give the best, and we got to be the best.
Actually, I was thinking that's a pretty small budget. Why did you only set aside $25,000?
Well, reason why is, we want to be the best, but, we also, want to, manage our, finances, diligently.
Interesting, because you know the impact that your service team has on your bottom line, right?
Absolutely.
And so when it comes to training your frontline people, then obviously you want to make sure that they're going to be in a position to drive revenues for your business, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm sure you can appreciate why I was a little bit surprised when you got your budget.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Okay. So we can go long on this, but I think that in this example, I sort of had Gabriel just backing up a little bit, but I want to touch on something, then we're going to go, because typically we go 30 minutes, but this is my dude. The 5 objections Gabriel gave you, I submit are not objections. And this is why. They're resistance. I call that sales resistance. Let me explain. Because our training is different, right? Our backgrounds are different, and I'm older than he is. I'm not ashamed to say that. So what I do, teach, and present is based on the people and company that I've been around, right? Vice versa. It's not to say I'm right or he's wrong. It is just to say that styles are different, right? It's the end result that counts. But the way I was trained is, a resistance is simply the marketplace telling you, I'm not interested because you haven't given me a compelling reason to go any further.
Right.
And the way that I was trained is, an objection is a legitimate reason why the marketplace isn't ready to say yes. And of all the objections out there, the most common is money. Everything else is sales resistance because the value proposition has not been firmly rooted. We're going to get into that later. Ladies and gentlemen, have a plan. Have a great plan. Commit to being excellent. Be exceptional. Be exceptional in everything that you do. prepare, practice. Really prepare and practice often, every day, until that muscle memory kicks in. And when you prepare and practice, you will consistently perform at a high level. And then you will no longer have any competition. You will be the competition. That bullseye will be planted firmly on your back. And if you do that, you too will go straight to the top. God bless. We know you have choices. We know you have options. We appreciate you guys tuning in and spending some time. Share the message, share the story. What we talk about and what we do is not for everyone. Our message is the message of exceptionalism. We want you to be great. Good night. Thank you for coming on. Say good night to the audience.
Good night, audience.